Hey guys, I want to welcome you and let you know how great it is to have you here for the Greater Purpose Podcast.
What's up? That's good. Welcome to the Greater Purpose Podcast from the Cubs room. Hear the cheering crowd? You don't hear them. No. It's because they're not in here. You hear them though, right? So that's where the cheering crowd comes in, all that kind of good stuff. So we're glad to have our guest here today, who we will introduce in just a minute. But I got to do some housekeeping first that my producer, who is not here again, has said I have to do. I'm supposed to show you the website that you can get to the podcast and everything else through the website, www.bwasap.com. I'm also supposed to remind you to subscribe to our channel at The Greater Purpose on YouTube. We're also going to be working on getting posted on Spotify and some other places like that. So just keep keeping up with us. So anyway, so we have with us today our brand new mayor of Belmont, Marc Seelinger. Good to see you. How you doing? Did I say it right?
Yes.
Good, I did. I've been calling him Seelinger forever, and the other day I discovered that I was saying it wrong, so I apologize for that. So we're glad to have you in here. So we're going to jump in here and get started on the podcast. Got to make sure I did everything I'm supposed to do at the beginning, and I did. So we'll go on into the format. We changed it up a little bit with one of our guests. We had Shannon Williams in here. I believe that would have been last week, and he did covered a book with him, and we may do some stuff like that. But we're going back to the regular format because we want to be inspiring, encouraging, and motivational for these guys out there that need some pumping up every once in a while, like we do. Right. So the first question that we want to know from you is when did you first realize the importance of being a godly man?
Sure. Well, just start.
You're supposed to introduce yourself first. I knew I forgot something. Yeah, so go ahead and do that. Sure. Introduce yourself first. I've been talking the whole time.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Marc Seelinger, as of a week ago, the mayor of Belmont.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yep. I've been on the city council down there for almost 4 years at this point.
Right.
Grew up in North Carolina. I've been down here since I was 10.
Yeah.
My wife and I own a Marco's Pizza over in Gastonia. Yeah. Should have brought some pizza.
I know, right? I mean,
that would have been really distracting for your viewers.
People bring me wristbands and bring me books, but no pizza.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that next time.
Okay. We'll eat pizza. Yeah, I did a video the other day eating a hamburger from a place. Oh. And it got more comments and more views. And at church and at work, I walk in and people are going, "Hey, so you eat that?" Really? Yeah. The burger?
Yeah.
We want you watching the podcast. But anyway, so we'll do that. We'll come on here next time we have Marc back and we'll just eat Marco's pizza. Right? And we'll just talk about the pizza. We could do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, anyway.
Yeah. Well, I got two small boys, Winston and William. They're 4 and 2.
William, great name.
Yeah. We lived in Belmont for probably almost 7 years at this point.
Yeah. So tell us, the former mayor, he retired.
Yes.
And so?
So Charlie Martin.
You said, pick me? Or
no, definitely not. Yeah, Charlie Martin.
Charlie's been there a long time.
Yeah, he's been the mayor, I think, for at least 10-ish years. Right. And he was on council for a long time before that. Right. So he's definitely a fixture of the Belmont community. But he resigned at the end of June, and I'm not entirely sure how it happened, but nobody else on council, I think, wanted the job. So
you woke up one morning and suddenly you're mayor. Huh?
Yeah. So
well, and all joking aside, Marc is a great guy, so he deserves this opportunity, and I think he's going to do a great job with that. So, all right, good. So we got the introductions. Now let's go into the questions. So your first realization of why you should become, or you're becoming, we talk about that too on here all the time. Nobody's there. We have not achieved it. We're never going to achieve it until we get to glory. but we're supposed to be walking the path that Jesus has us walking. So we're trying to become and be better and be godly men. So when did you first realize how important that was?
Well, I come from a family where faith is very important. My parents from a very young age impressed on me the importance of having a spiritual life.
Yep.
That's probably something that I didn't take too seriously probably until about high school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a religious Catholic high school up in Raleigh, and the focus of that school in particular was really around sort of building up Christian leaders,
right,
in preparation for college in particular, but
yeah,
to have that sort of firm foundation from both the education and sort of the spiritual side.
Nice, right.
So that was kind of when I really kind of started, I guess, thinking about these sorts of things seriously.
Yeah, right.
And then I went off to I went to college at Chapel Hill.
We won't hold
You usually get one of two reactions to that.
Right,
so, but the obviously the spiritual environment at that school is very different than what you might find at your typical Catholic high school. So,
shockingly different, would we say? Maybe.
Yeah. So, I think it was there that really kind of became very real for me. Where I really kind of appreciated the gift that I had been given from my parents, and sort of reinforced by all of the teachers and spiritual leaders I've had in my life up to that point.
Right. Yeah.
Then, because there are a lot of different competing pressures, I guess, when you go into an environment like that, and it's very easy to get lost, I think, if you don't have a firm grounding and really understanding like who you are and who you want to be.
Yeah.
So, even though you may not necessarily live up to those, the standards that you set for yourself all the time, I think knowing, the role that faith has in your life, going into an environment like that is very important.
Sure. Yeah. Usually you hear the opposite story, is it's the falling off of it instead of the facing it and going toward it. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, I kind of viewed it as sort of like a trial by fire sort of thing. We were talking earlier about iron strengthening iron.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that was really kind of like what I went through at college, because I think that was the first environment that I'd really been sort of like tested in that way.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because up until that point, I mean, my parents were very good about making sure that we were placed in very sort of in environments where people kind of cared about, your faith and, morality and that kind of thing. Yeah. So this was like really the first opportunity where it's kind of like both out on my own and
talk about being thrown to the sharks, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, it was a very formative experience for me. And I think I came out of it a lot stronger. Yeah. There was a lot, it had a lot of fun too. I got involved with, a lot of good people up there. You can kind of find your group too, like
that's important.
Yes, because like it's very difficult to do any of this by yourself. So I think having that team of people behind you is very important.
Yeah, part of the purpose of the greater.
Yes, exactly what we're doing here.
Exactly, building each other up. So yeah, that's cool. That's great. So during that time, who was? So your parents obviously were a big inspiration, but is there somebody else maybe that was a man or woman in your life that was a big inspiration for you that kind of helped carry you to that point? Or during that point? Yeah, well, I mean, obviously my parents remained very important. And I had also in high school formed a really good relationship with my my basketball coach. Oh, okay.
It was a very small school, so I'm not saying that I had any particular sort of athletic talent that got me on the basketball team, but he was someone I actually stayed in touch with even after.
Oh, nice.
College. He
mentor.
And he was actually very important later in life when me and my wife were kind of deciding, making big life choices about marriage and that kind of thing. So, he was a good role model for me, and someone who I was able to have very like candid conversations with too.
That's important. Yeah, you can say his name if you want to.
George Lally.
There you go. Yeah, that's great. So we've had multiple guys come through here, and they mentioned coaches and stuff like that. So that's cool. So he was one of your big inspirations. So, so based upon those formative years, and you're now 25, whatever you are. No,
I am 33.
I kid around with him because really, honestly, the first time I met him, actually the first couple times that I saw you at some of the events, I was like, okay, he's got to be like between 25 and 30.
No, I got that a lot on my first campaign. Like, who is this kid standing on my doorstep? And I was like, no, I am actually running for office. I am an adult.
Yeah. Maybe you should like grow the goatee or something.
Oh, I will do that sometimes. I let it go.
There you go.
When I want to look a little bit older.
Right. There you go.
Having the kids around helps too. Because like, he's obviously someone who's responsible.
You need an older brother.
Yeah. That too.
Yeah. So, all right. So at your fairly young age, what do you feel like is the best? How are you most effective in using the inspiration that you've had to inspire others, men, boys, to be godly, to be like your coach, to be mentors and stuff like that?
Well, obviously, I think my biggest opportunity there is with my two sons.
Mm-hmm.
They're still pretty small, so they're not quite at that level where they're really thinking very deeply beyond whether we're gonna have pizza or mac and cheese for dinner.
Right.
So, but I think it's good to sort of serve as that role model for them and kind of coach and guide them as they sort of figure out life. So that's
got to do it at home for sure.
Yeah, and because that's where everything starts. Is
right.
With the family.
Yeah.
And that's really important for everything else that I do too. Because being the mayor, it's you're kind of, people will put you up on this pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important, I think, particularly from that perspective, to ensure that you're being a good role model for all of those other people who are who are kind of looking up to you for leadership.
Yeah.
So, so that's something I'm kind of very cognizant of as, I'm going through life, and it also kind of helps me too. Cause like, I do best when I feel like, there are other people there to hold me accountable.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So,
that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife's real good about that too. She definitely lets me know when, I have, not met the bar.
Yeah.
So,
mine too. Even on the podcast, she's watching. So she's my encourager. That's my girl right there. Yeah. So that's cool. That's great. So at home, but also just from talking to guys that have been through here, and of course we have the same kind of format for most of these podcasts. What I see in people that prompts me to ask them if they want to come on to the podcast is things that are happening around them that they are a part of, that you're aware of it. I know, because you just said you are, but you're not seeing the interactions and the things going on around you that other people can see. So that's what I see. I see integrity. I see character. I see things. I've seen you step up to the plate before the mayor position. I've seen you step up to the plate and do so many different things in an organization that was impressive and motivational to me. So making me realize that I need to be cognizant of what's going on around me too. So, because people are watching, they're always watching. So cool. All right, good deal. So you were supposed to pick from what we're not calling, we called it originally the Fast Five. This is where my wife came in and said, I don't like the name Fast Five, because if you want to expand on them, you can. But if I call them Fast Five, then you can't. So we're calling them the Five Favorites now. I'm calling them the Five Faves. But she said I said it too fast. So I have to say the Five Favorites. Five faves. Anyway, so Five Favorites. So which topic did you pick? Five men, five women, five heroes of the faith, five Bible favorites. Which did you pick?
I went with five men.
Okay, cool. All right. So you've already mentioned one of them.
Yes.
Okay. So give us the five men.
The other one's family related. My mom's father, my grandfather. He was a World War II vet.
Wow.
He was a Marine that served in China during the war. He was a lot of fun. Sure. He passed several years ago, but
can imagine the stories.
Yes, and he had this like album of like pictures and stuff that he'd whip out. And
nice, that is cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
So that he was a fountain of knowledge. Sure. But he also was also someone who was very intentional about his faith, and that
Yeah.
was something that he took very seriously. We've got a very large family,
Mhm.
so, and he was sort of, at the center of it, and someone that, we all kind of look to for,
that's great.
for guidance and leadership. So he was always been someone that I kind of looked up to. And
Cool. Very nice. Yep. Grandfather?
the other ones I got is Truett Cathy.
Oh, yeah.
Chick-fil-A
Oh, wow.
fame.
He was somebody just mentioned him on the radio the last couple of days.
Yeah, well, he's got, I don't know how much people know about his personal life story, but it's particularly inspiring because everybody just thinks of him as like the chicken man.
Right.
But like, and it's something that kind of speaks to me too, as like the owner of like a, quick serve pizza place.
Right.
The way that he kind of built that business from nothing, but while at the same time, like, was also very intentional about the role that his faith kind of played,
Right.
in both how he ran that business and how he built that business.
Yep. And even the legacy that he's left behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you want an example of somebody who, like, really kind of took the gifts that God gave them and really kind of maximized his opportunity with them,
Yep.
I think he's a good example.
Absolutely.
Of that.
Great. That's a good one.
The other one, so these are kind of fun because my boys' names are Winston and William. So,
which Bill was the nickname for William when we were kids. Now nobody. Don't
I
ask
never
me
even
why.
thought of that.
I don't know why Bill. I don't know how Bill comes from William. It's either Will or Liam is supposed to be the nickname,
okay.
But not it was Bill back in my day.
Interesting.
So William is an awesome name.
Well,
but apparently there's an inspiration behind that.
Yeah. So we were very intentional about, or at least I was anyway. My wife kind of delegated a lot of that to me. So we named William. William is named after William F. Buckley Jr.
Oh, nice.
Who's the founder of National Review.
Yeah.
Also someone for his faith was also very important to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also got a really fascinating life story too. His role in the CIA before he became a political journalist and publisher. And then everybody, of course, knows him from Firing Line.
Right.
But really kind of inspiring person too.
Nice. Okay.
And then Winston is named after Winston Churchill.
That's kind of figured that one. But
yeah. I always take a lot of inspiration from him because I know that it cannot have been easy to sort of, being like literally the guy standing in between, Nazism and the rest of civilization.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly where he was. He was thrust into it. So
yeah.
So, and I think Winston Churchill has been, I know you're talking about your son, but the name Winston, I think somebody has mentioned Winston Churchill before. So yeah, very inspiring. Yep. Got a great life story. So cool. All right. So that was them, huh? Wow. See, I told you that would go quick. That's pretty cool. All right. So now for the fun part. So before we well, it's all fun. I always say that, but
I'm having a blast.
What I mean is we're having fun. Now we're going to have the funny part. This is the part my wife can't stand because she does not like the parting gifts. She said, "Why do you got to keep doing the parting gifts?" I said, "It's the shtick. It's part of the thing. These guys come in here. If they've seen the podcast, they expect it. If they haven't seen the podcast, then they're freaked out by it." So either way, we like to have fun with it. We did not do this for our book review of Shannon Williams because he's already been in here before. So he does not get any parting gifts. You received some awesome parting gifts for being here today. Before you got to tell us your sports story. That's the last thing.
Yes.
And so one of the most valuable and unbelievably fantastic Mr. Bill's STEM Education hand sanitizer and Bill Ward photography. Make sure you mention Bill Ward photography. Okay. So this is one of your parting gifts. How amazing is that?
Yeah, it's perfect for a politician who's shaking hands all the time.
There you go. You're almost speechless. Yeah. We have had some in here that are speechless, and I get that. I totally get it. And, you will also receive, I don't know if you've seen this part or not, I will sign this before you leave. You will also receive an autographed, numbered, my producer made me start numbering them. I don't know why. I guess so when we run out, we can buy more. I don't know. But numbered and autographed Willie Ace official Chicago Cubs baseball card is for real. And I will sign that before you leave. And you get to choose. We're running low again. We got to get some more. We've had that many guests. We're up in the 20s on our podcasts now. A Lego superhero And my wife says, why a Lego superhero? Why are you keep doing that? Because it's STEM related. Why is it STEM related? Because you have to build it. What is building? Building is engineering. So you have to build your Legos robot. I'm not a Lego robot. I've been building Lego robots for the last month with my kids in classes. The Lego figurine, superhero figurine. You have to go home and build it. Now, several of our guests said that they built them and put them on their credenzas in their office. So I'm going to walk into their office and start checking, see if they're there. But you get to choose from, I don't know why the Joker is in here, because these are all Marvel except one. But the Joker is in there. We have Ant-Man. We have Thor. And we have, what's his name? The guy that's that was Jarvis and became what's his name? I don't remember. I don't know. You don't watch Marvel. Okay. So anyway, I can't remember what his name is.
Well, I've seen Ant-Man. So
okay, you're going to go with Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we just watched the newest Ant-Man. So cool. All right, so those are your party gifts. Now you got to tell us your sports-related story.
Sure. So I was thinking about this last night because I was like,
what do I talk about? Right.
Well, a little bit.
And then you walked in here.
Yeah, I was just like,
you
wow.
saw the Cubs room.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, but so a few years ago, for my birthday, my wife bought me we did this NASCAR driving experience where you get behind the wheels
nice.
an actual NASCAR and drive it at 200 miles over the track.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the coolest things I've done.
That is way cool. You should have brought pictures or something of that. So.
Oh yeah. I'll throw it with the pizza. Yeah, but that was and the best part is it's a stick. So that was also my sort of, patting myself on the back, and
that's a lot different than a stick on a regular vehicle.
Right,
sure.
right.
Yeah. I used to drive a stick. I used to like a manual transmission, but anyway.
Yeah, well, I had one in college, so it was So
what was your top speed?
I think I got to about 180-ish.
Yeah.
They have this governor on it that prevents you from going too fast.
Yeah.
But
because they don't want you wiping out.
Yeah.
So was the driver next to you when you were driving, or
no? I was solo. They've got it set up so they've got a guy in your ear.
Nice.
And if you do something really dangerous, he yells at you.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know that. But,
oh, he did it. Whatever it was, he did it. I love it. That's great. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, that's a neat story. No, but I think it might be the first racing story.
Oh, great.
So, yeah. So I've already been told that I've got to at some point tell some of my stories. So I'm not going to do that now. But I got a bunch of sports stories, and I got a bunch of other stories too. So who knows? Maybe we'll do like a whole thing on that. You can interview me.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, right. Seelinger. Seelinger. Why do I keep J?
It's okay. Honestly,
the G is like a J.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jur.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard it so many different ways.
You just answer whatever.
Yeah.
I get it. So.
I mean, people throw things at me, and
right.
I answer to that too. So,
like pizza.
Yeah.
You answer to free pizza. Well, you get free pizza. You got all the pizza you want, so that's pretty cool. Well, listen, I appreciate you being on here. Subscribe to the podcast at The Greater Purpose. Make some comments. Do some shares. Inspire other people out there. Jump out on your own and do the things that God wants you to do. Don't neglect to follow your calling. God's got something for you to do out there, whether it's be on a podcast to inspire others or become mayor. Hey, you just don't know. God's got something for you to do that's going to inspire others out there. We hope you're going to do it. Marc Seelinger, Mayor Seelinger, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. God bless.